Alright, hey, Shalom. I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And Shalom to all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. Alright. Coming back again with another video through the Spirit. Okay. This morning. It's currently 6:35 a.m. And something that came up, alright, concerning John 13 and 4. Okay. And this debate, okay, or this, it wasn't necessarily a debate, but this topic had came up from an individual. Gonna leave that information disclosed. Okay, pretty much a man claiming that Yahawashi was naked. All right, as he was washing his disciples' feet, which we understand that whole situation, all right, was symbolic of humility, all right, humbleness from our Lord, okay? But when you go into the fourth verse, some people get it confused as if he was naked, all right? And that's just ridiculous, okay? And we're going to go into it and get some understanding concerning this scripture, all right? This is John 13 and 4. It reads, well, I'm going to start at 3. It says, Yahawashi, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was from the Most High, and went to the Most High. He riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and girded himself. Right, so he riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments. So they were eating. As they were eating, he took off his, what it says here, garments, which when you read it in the English is written as a plural thing, okay? And this is where people trip up, because if it says garments, what? You assume it's talking about all his clothing, okay? But that's why you have to go into words, and further, when you go into the BLB, you have to further scrutinize it, okay? And get more understanding on what, this word is, what it means, okay? What does it indicate, etc. Now, since we read that, all right, and Salaki, me and the beloved elder was going into it, and I did some research. He did some research, and we linked it up. Okay, let's go to the BLB. John 13, for he riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and girded himself. Now, reading in the AMP, it says, got up from supper, took off his outer robe, and taking a servant's towel, he tied it around his waist. Right, so some people will be like, oh, that's the AMP, it's translated the KJV. So let's just deal with the KJV. Let's go into this word garments. All right. When you go into this word garments, it's hemation, if I'm not mistaken.
Strong's G 2440. Hemation.
Now, going to this word, hemation in the Greek, it is a garment of any sort, okay? A box reads garments, i.e. the cloak or mantle, and the tunic, the upper garment, the cloak or mantle. All right, now it doesn't specify exactly what garment he took off. It says garments in the English as a plural thing, but when you go into this word, how he said it, emanation.
Strong's G 2440. Hemation.
Okay, let's go into this word hemation. All right, real quick. Okay, I got a couple things pulled up I want to show. When you go into this word hemation, all right, in the Greek, it was a type of clothing, a mantle or wrap worn by ancient Greek men and women from the archaic periods, like if I pronounce that wrong, through the Hellenistic period. It was usually worn over a shittim and or a peplos, but was made of a heavier drape and played the role of a cloak or shawl. So what Yahawashi did was he took off his outer garment, or his how you say it?
Strong's G 2440. Himation.
Or he took off his
Himation.
hamation, all right, his outer garment. Like I said, we can go into the Greek, and then you look up this word specifically, hamation. It literally goes back to the outer garment, okay? And then what? You had an undergarment, which that undergarment also is what? A tunic, all right? Matter of fact, let me show you here, okay? Was a tunic, all right? So let's read this. Men's clothing. It says most Jewish men wore an inner garment, an outer garment, and sandals, unlike people today. Right. See, so like I said, when you go into the word specifically, hamation, it's literally speaking of the outer garment. That's why you got to watch the BLB, because you go into category A, and also the second portion of the biblical usage, it reads as a plural thing, okay? But when you go into it specifically, it's literally an outer garment, all right? It's not speaking of more than one piece of clothing, all right? It's literally speaking of the outer portion of the clothing, all right? Then you go into the word shittin, all right, which resembles a tunic. It goes into what is a form of tunic, you see, that is fastened at the shoulders, worn by men and women of ancient Greece and Rome. There are two forms of shittin, the Doric and the latter Ionic, all right, or Ionic. According to the Herodotus, popular legend was that Athenian woman began to wear the shittin as opposed to the peplos after several women stabbed the messengers to death, blah, 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 whatever. Well, you go into that word tunic. A tunic is a garment for the torso, usually simply in style, reaching from the shoulders to the length somewhere between the hips, all right, and the ankles. It might have arm sleeves, either short or full length, right? And this is what it shows, all right? So you had your inner garment and your outer garment, all right? And like I said, when you go into the word in its context, it's speaking of the outer garment. Okay, so Yahawashi took off his outer garment, all right, or his outer robe as it is written in the AMP. All right, he didn't take all of his clothing off, all right, to wash the disciples' feet. All right, got Jake out there being simple and, simple-minded Christians, or whoever believe in this, just being simple, all right? Like, get serious, man. But anyway, right, so like I said, how you say hamation, all right? So it was a type of Greek. So like it was a type of clothing, a mantle or wrap. So like, a mantle is a type of loose garment usually worn over indoor clothing, you see, to serve the same purpose as an overcoat. Technically, the term describes a long, loose cape, like cloak worn from the 12th to the 16th century by both sexes, which, predates that, which is a hamation, all right? Okay? All right, so, yeah, pretty much that's it, all right? Nothing really too much to it. Like I said, no matter of fact, let me pull this picture up, because I had looked up this picture, just looking up ancient garments, making sure I got the correct understanding of what was happening, making sure I wasn't bugged. Oh, Jesus, I was naked, and man, stop it. Come on, man, get serious. All right, let's go through this real quick. Men's clothing says most men wore an inner garment and an outer garment and sandals. Unlike people today, they were not influenced by fashion for centuries. Arabs today often wear similar clothes because they are best suited to the hot climate of their lands in the Middle East. The tunic, all right, or the what's it called, the shidun or shidun, whatever, all right, is a form of tunic that fastens at the shoulders, right? See, an inner garment, all right. Really, the tunic, all right. But if you go into the Greek, pretty much is a shidun, an inner robe, pretty much. Just look up this word peblos. Like, I'm all over the place a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty much what it is. The tunic or the inner garment, all right, for man and woman. Okay, back to this. So Arabs today often wear similar clothes because they are best suited to the hot climate of their land in the Middle East. The inner garment, often called a tunic, was like a close-fitting shirt. It was made of wool, linen, or cotton. Some tunics just had slits or the arms for the arms. Others had long sleeves. Sometimes men wore an undergarment called a loincloth beneath the tunic. See? So it was like underwear. You had the loincloth, right? You don't mention that. Okay? All right? Through the spirit, of course, Jake wasn't there, but, you know, we understand through the spirit speaking of his outer garment, man. All right? He wasn't talking about all his garments. Yes, in the KJV it's written as a plural thing, but when you go into the word itself, all right, it's a singular thing, okay? All right? How you say Hamation? It's like it. Hamation, singular, all right? All right? It's just one piece of clothing, which is the outer garment, okay? It says the tunic was often held in at the waist by a belt made of leather or cloth. Sometimes the belt had a pouch to keep money in. Mark 6 and 8. When a man needed to free himself for hard work, he tucked up his tunic into his belt. Right? That's why you get the term gird up your loins. All right? In Bible times, people had no special night cloths. At night, they simply loosened their belts and laid down in their tunics. The cloak, okay, or the hamation, all right, or the robe or the mantle, is the same concept. Jewish men wore an outer garment called a cloak or robe. This cloak was made of woolen cloth and was wrapped around the body to help keep warm. It had slits for the arms. At night, people used their cloaks as bed covers. Rich men often had cloaks made of expensive silk or linen and with wide sleeves and blue fringes. Okay? Then it goes into the jewelry. All right? The rings and all that. Hairstyles. All right? Real quick, I'm going to read this for the Apostle Tahar's sake through the Spirit. You know, I know he get on Jake about long hair, but it says Jewish men cut their hair with scissors and long-bladed razors. Of course, they didn't shave their hair. Cut. You see, cut and shave is two different things. Sometimes they made special religious vows and did not cut their hair for a long time, which is Nazarite vow. Men often wore skull caps with bands or cloths around the edges, right? Which we had a uncovering spot to pray. All right, but that's pretty much it. All right, Lord's will, this was edifying. Okay, like I said, looked up a few things through the Spirit, put the pieces together. All right, based off an individual who had came with this argument. All right, which now is debunked. All right, so John 13:4, he rises up from supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. Right, so going to that word garments is hamation, which hamation goes into what? The outer robe or the cloak or the mantle. Okay, plain and simple. And so pretty much he took off his outer garment, and what was what was left on his body, his tunic, all right, or his shidun or shidun in the Greek, or his peplos, his undergarments, or his inner garments. He still had his inner garments on, okay, and it makes sense, all right, because if you want to wash someone's feet, you will take off your outer garments so that you have more. You're more agile. You don't got too much on your body. You can move more. It's less weight on you to move your arms and, wash, other men's feet or, whatever, if you're working. Yeah, all right? It's plain. It's like if you're in the house, right? You take your jacket off. It's the same thing, man, But anyways, and what's funny, well, I guess that ain't an argument. All right, it was during the Passover, so it was a little chilly, I'm guessing. So that could have been reasons why they had their outer garments on in the house. Who knows? All right, but that's the understanding through the Spirit and power of Yahawashi. All right, going to give all glory and praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. All right, again, double honor to our beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And shalom to all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. Say shalom in the Bible ball.